Paul Nirgurkar, the CEO of Patient Prism, and I have in our studios Judy Kay Mausolf, who is an incredible personality. We've all seen her at dental shows all over the country talking about leadership and building better leaders and communicating more effectively and staying positive. I mean, the two books that she has written are all about positivity. Tada, Get Happy in 5 Seconds or Less, and Rise and Shine. But it's not as easy, right? I mean, we have lots of things going on in our lives. You know, we have things at home, with kids, with parents, with spouses. And now when you go to work, how do you bring that? Right? How do you bring that positive attitude every single day? How do you be Judy Kay at the office every single day? How do you bring it?
Well, it's really important. Actually, it starts with when you first wake up in the morning.
Sure.
It's knowing that what you put out there is what you're going to attract back, right? So it's making a choice. You know, when we get up in the morning, it's you can get up and say, you know, I'm in a bad mood or I'm all these things, or you have the choice to think through the energy, the emotion you feel at the moment.
Sure.
Per se. So if you choose to be a happier person, you can be a happier person, and it starts by realizing that if I put out a certain energy, the chances of me receiving it back grow that much. And also, it's the old fake it till you feel it. Yeah. There's different things, and we'll get into that, about help us feel more positive. So I start out with knowing what I'm going to put out there is what I'm going to get back. And the first person that I connect with in the morning is my husband, Steve. Right. So it's really important that that I put the filters back on. You know, we have a tendency to take the filters off with the people we love the most, right? I put the filters back on and treat him how I want him to treat me, right? Sure. So it's about starting out with that positive. You know, I call it law of attraction. I refer to it as orange. You know, orange is an acronym again. I'm an acronym addict. That kind of reflects the law of attraction. My husband and I actually created it on our trip to North Dakota to visit family. So are you ready for it?
Sure,
okay.
I am.
So orange is optimistic, radiant attitudes nurture great energy. So I know if I radiate an optimistic attitude, I'm going to nurture great energy around me. So that's the first thing. And as I said, attitude is a choice. You know, we get to choose to impact people in a positive manner. It's always up to us.
Sure.
It's not about other people, their behavior, whether they deserve it. Sure. And it's not about the situation. You know, people say, how can you say that, Judy Kay? What if they're really mean to you? I said, it has nothing to do with them. Mm-hmm. It has to do with who do I want to show up with as a person every day. Sure. And going back to the core values we talked about for leadership in the past, this is core values of who I want to be as a person. I don't want to give my power away for happiness to someone else just because they're a negative. Right. I don't want to give my power away to a situation because there were traffic and now I'm in a bad mood. I choose to be happy, and the way to do that is to focus on what's positive, because it's our focus that creates our attitude. The only difference between a glass half full and a glass half empty person is what they're focusing on.
Absolutely, I completely agree. What about people? I mean, obviously most of us go to work early morning, and some of us are not morning people. How do you bring that?
Amal, you went down that slippery slope.
What if you perform really well from 12 to 4?
You know, I'm going to have this conversation with you. So this is one of my favorite topics to talk about, is the non-morning person, right? So it's actually a label you're giving yourself.
Okay.
Are you saying you're a non-morning person, Amal? Possibly?
Not too early.
Not too early, right.
I'm good at 9, but I mean, a little earlier than that.
So, well, when we label ourselves, for example, a non-morning person, it's actually an excuse to continue the behavior. Sure. The reality is if you were meeting with a client really early morning, would you turn it on?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so you have the power to turn it on. It's a filtered non-morning person. It's a choice for you. Sure. My question to non-morning people is, why do you choose to be negative when you could be positive? Sure. Because your energy will change, you'll feel better. By just knowing that if I can turn it on for a stranger, or if I can turn it on for a business meeting, why don't I turn it on for myself right away in the morning so I feel better? Sure. Again, what we put out there is what we attract back. How we act is how we feel. So you act as if, and it changes how you feel. So that labeling of the non-morning person, I would just say that I am a morning person and start focusing on, I'm fine, I'm good.
And keep saying that.
And keep saying it. And do things that make you feel happy.
How about you talked about the law of attraction, is how important it is to give gratitude.
Oh, huge, huge. Here's the thing. Our happiness isn't so much about what we get. You think about how maybe you wanted a certain car or a certain outfit or a certain pair of shoes or whatever, and you're thinking, oh, this is gonna be great, and you get it, and the happiness level is like, you get it, and it's gone right away, But when you start to think about all the things you have in your life that you appreciate, like your spouse and your children and your health and your life and what you get to do, how can you not be happy?
Right.
And you can't entertain a feeling of despair and gratitude at the same time.
Sure.
So when you are aware of what it is that is good in your life, you have reason to show appreciation. You have reason to show gratitude. You have reason to feel happy. Because happiness is really based on where we're at the moment and feeling good about that. It's being present in the moment.
And you talk a lot about in your camps and your talks about celebrating.
Absolutely.
In terms of, does that help with the positive attitude? In terms
Yes.
of if we go to the office and we have Fridays for celebrating whatever that we're celebrating, is that something you recommend? Routine celebrations.
Celebration is important, or we get lost in the muck of the mundane. It really is. If we don't celebrate the things, our successes, the little things, I think about like dental practices, we're doing amazing things. When I got into dentistry in the early 80s, practice administrator for over 26 years, I was so amazed at the change we could make in people's lives. Growing up on the farm in North Dakota, a lot of the people couldn't afford dentistry, didn't have the capabilities. And when I started in dentistry and started working with a dentist back then who did implants, boy, I brought in all my relatives and friends. I was like, hey, we can do this now.
Wow.
It was amazing because people would come in and they would talk like this, they wouldn't smile. And all of a sudden we transformed them and they were smiling and happy and confident.
Sure.
And because the smile is the number one connector, right?
Right.
So when I look at that, so many offices, though, they do this amazing work and they don't take time to celebrate it. It's on to the next room, it's on to the next task, and then you lose your joy for what you're doing. It's so important that we celebrate the little things in life every day, not just Fridays.
Right.
So I think it's important at the end of the day, quick recap, hey, what do you want to celebrate today? Or high five somebody or anything to say, nice job today.
And all these things kind of bring together this positive attitude, right? There's no such one thing like, oh, be positive. That's not what you say. You got to be positive. You've got to be doing all these things and kind of waking up happy, saying, being grateful, be grateful, celebrate in the practices.
It's an intent.
But when you do all those things, you're going to have happier and more positive employees, and it's going to translate into, again, happier patients, more trusting patients. When patients
Absolutely.
trust, they accept more treatment. Everybody benefits. They get to lead happy lives. You practice benefits. The staff member benefits. Everybody benefits. So great discussion on bringing positivity into your life every single day. So thank you so much.
Thank you.